Black and White Network fans, we are back with another video. We're going to be talking about the summer of love in 2020. 2020, one of the strangest years for many different reasons of my lifetime. You had the George Floyd thing, 2020 election. Also, you had the Jacob Blake incident, which actually transpired into a bunch of riots out there, leading to the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing. You guys know how all of that was connected. But Jacob Blake, we're going to be talking about him in this video because you guys remember Officer Rustin Shesky, I believe that's the way you pronounce the name, shot Jacob Blake in the back, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was in the back. Been a while since I actually saw that video. Shot him in the back because, you know, he was trying to run away, drive away with kids in the back of a car that did not belong to him. And Jacob Blake was a career criminal. He's still alive, by the way, even though a lot of people out there in the media want to say that Officer Shesky shot Jacob Blake and he died. No, Jacob Blake is alive and well, but he will no longer be harming women anymore if you actually look at the allegations that were levied against him. Jacob Blake is a criminal. 100% a criminal. Well, Jacob Blake actually filed a lawsuit against Officer Shesky. Can you believe that, folks? Jacob Blake, a man that wrestled with the police, a man that had a deadly weapon. He had a knife in his hand, even though the mainstream media wants to tell you he was unarmed. No, he was not. Jacob Blake admitted that he had a knife. He dropped it. And yeah, it's the truth. Well, guys, he tried to sue the police officer. I don't know why, but that lawsuit has now been dropped. Check this out. Jacob Blake withdraws his lawsuit against Rustin Shesky, the Kenosha officer who shot him in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know how Jacob Blake was even allowed to sue the police officer. Jacob Blake, honestly, folks, should be in jail right now. But it says this. Jacob Blake has dropped his civil rights lawsuit against the Kenosha police officer who shot him in the back in 2020, an incident that set off days of violent protests in the city. So Jacob Blake sued this police officer for violating his civil rights? Really? Really? I mean, how was this even allowed? Jacob Blake was breaking the law. He was breaking the law. And you know what, folks? Jacob Blake, no charges were brought up against him. None whatsoever for the crimes he was committing that day. None. Zero zilch. Living in a crazy world, folks. Blake sued Rustin Shesky in March of last year, but dismissed the action Friday, according to court records. A one-page stipulation signed by lawyers from both sides indicates they've agreed to dismiss the case with prejudice, meaning Blake cannot refile the claim. So it is over. Jacob Blake can no longer sue this police officer. Nothing in the case file mentions a settlement, and neither lawyer immediately returned messages Monday morning. There should be no settlement. Rustin Shesky owes Jacob Blake nothing. This police officer did his job. U.S. District Judge J.P. Stadtmuller signed an order granting the dismissal of Shesky and other officers had responded to a domestic call on August 23rd, 2020. Jacob refused their orders and was getting into an SUV when Shesky fired 7 times. Blake, 31, had a knife. Thank you for actually mentioning that. Jacob Blake had a knife, and Shesky was neither charged nor disciplined. He shouldn't have. He did his job correctly. Blake was left paralyzed, partially paralyzed, from the shooting. Yeah, he's in a wheelchair. The shooting touched off days of violent protests in Kenosha, during which Kyle Rittenhouse killed Joseph Rosenbaum, criminal, 36 years old, and Anthony Huber, 26, career criminal, and wounded Gage Grosskreutz, career criminal, 28. A jury later acquitted Rittenhouse of all charges in the case. After arguing, he acted in self-defense. Now, the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing, you can blame Jacob Blake for all that. You can blame BLM for all of that. They got in an uproar because Jacob Blake was doing what Jacob Blake does. He was being a criminal, a career criminal, and they were burning down everything. If it wasn't for Jacob Blake, maybe Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber would actually be alive right now. But these guys, like I said, were career criminals, so they were always playing with fire. It could have just been a matter of time for them. But this is insane, folks, that even Jacob Blake was allowed to actually sue the police officer for doing his job. He was doing his job. And the city of Kenosha actually considering a monument or something like that to Anthony Huber, a criminal. Yeah, a criminal. This is the kind of crazy world we're living in, folks. This is how crazy it is. But Officer Shesky, he can no longer be sued by Jacob Blake. If anything, he should actually be suing Jacob Blake. Actually, Jacob Blake should be locked up. But there was no charges brought up on Jacob Blake, because criminals can just run him up, do whatever they want to do. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.